Good morning, everyone. My name is Christina Aroka, and welcome. For those who are new here, I am your music director. I'm also a pianist, composer, and educator. For our welcoming hymn, we'll be singing hymn number 153, Oh, I Woke Up This Morning. You may rise in mind, body, or spirit and join us in singing. I'll play it once through, and then we'll play it all together.
Walking and talking with my mind. It was stayed on freedom. Walking and talking with my mind. It was stayed on freedom. I was walking and talking with my mind. It was stayed on freedom. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Stayed on freedom, singing and praying with my mind. Stayed on freedom, singing and praying with my mind. Stayed on freedom, hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah.
You may be seated. Perfect hymn after No King's Day. Good morning and welcome to the Unitarian Universalist congregation here in Fullerton, California. My name is Reverend Robert Blair. My pronouns are he, him. You can call me Rob, okay? We are an inclusive community dedicated to building a better world. Whoever you are, however you identify, whoever you love, we want to make sure that this is a safe space. And if there's anything that we can do to be more hospitable, of course, we want to hear from you. UUCF acknowledges that this land is situated in the original ancestral homelands of the Ahachiman, the Kizh, and the Tongva peoples. May we have the humility and courage to help restore what has been broken and the wisdom to live into a new solidarity with indigenous communities and the earth. This is Palm Sunday. Of course, we begin Holy Week for Christians around the world, and Passover begins at sundown on Wednesday. So many different holidays as we go into April. Can you believe it? Okay, a couple of announcements for you. If you wish to have a say in the family retreat decisions, today is the day to meet with Dale in the choir room for a quick discussion and a vote. Next Saturday, Dale, you're busy. Next Saturday, Dale invites you to go on a hike, meet at Associate Road and Rolling Hills Drive in Fullerton. They'll start hiking at noon inside Craig Regional Park. He knows a back way in. So, he's in the know. We are hosting an immigration volunteer training event coming up Sunday, April 19th, so mark your calendars for that. We've equipped you with our forum, with all the information on immigration services and strengthening our relationship with different organizations around Orange County. Now's the time to walk the walk. So if you would like volunteer training, mark your calendars for April 19th. After the service, and there'll be a light lunch. Of course, we're going to feed you. We're Unitarian Universalists. To UCF. The Pacific Southwest Assembly begins on April 24th. We can send up to 4 voting delegates to represent UCF in the plenary sessions. You can participate live in Palos Verdes or from home on Zoom if you're interested. Also, you can talk to Dale Botts about any of that information. Also, today's the day to sign up for snacks. Rosie is passing around the clipboard. If you could sign up and bring some goodies for after the service next month, we would appreciate it. Also, where's Kathy? You know, today begins our pledge drive, and Rebecca Dual Gallegos will be talking about that in a few. But we have cottage meetings that will be taking place throughout the month of April to give you more information about why to give, what that money goes for. Don't worry, I drive a 2015 Volkswagen. So the money is going for really good things and not a car for the pastor. So we want to give you all the information and be as transparent as possible regarding what you can give and where your money exactly goes. That's really important for you to know when we're talking about money and houses of worship, right? So Kathy we've got clipboards going around everywhere. So please sign up for the cottage meetings. Also last night, the board gave their gratitude for our volunteers. I don't know how many volunteers we have, but okay, 70 volunteers to make this program, this congregation function, and in all of the wonderful things that they do here and out in the world that is so desperately needed. And Mary gave me this. This is a thank you, a card and a hand, as well, a golden hand. And so if you're a volunteer and you weren't at last night's dinner, see Mary Botts so that she can give this small token of appreciation for our gratitude for all you do. Our caring listener this week is Mary Botts. You can speak with her after the service. If you have any questions, if you need to talk to someone, just a listening ear that's going to be non-judgmental and give you the time and space to do so, you can talk to Mary about that after the service. We'll be sharing our joys and sorrows a little later on. If you are on Facebook or on Zoom, we're so glad that you're here this morning. If you could get those in to the Zoom chat, Facebook chat, as soon as possible so that we can include you. If you're in the sanctuary, the pink pieces of paper are in the back. Please get those filled out as soon as possible so that we can lift you up in our joys, our sorrows, and our concerns. Those of you in the sanctuary, 1 to 2 minutes to say hello to your neighbor. Oh, let me give you that. Go. You're so sweet. Yeah, I love that. Real quick, I have an announcement after this.
For our next hymn, we'll be singing hymn number 1052, The Oneness of Everything. This is our hymn of the month, and you may rise in mind, body, or spirit and join us in singing.
Okay, thanks, Gary.
Here we go.
Far beyond the grasp of hands, or light to meet the eye, past the reaches of the mind. There find the key to nature's harmony in an architecture so entwined. Like the birds whose patterns grace the sky and carry all who join in love expanding, the message of peace will rise in flight, taking the weight of the world upon its wings. In the oneness of everything, peace is in the dance of trees who stir before the first breath of wind is yet perceived. Trust in the song, becoming one with the dance and the mysteries, and be to believe. Songs of lifelong past that touch our own, enters in the heart to be reborn in spring, to hear and to feel the pulse of life, enters my soul as a song to sing of the oneness of everything.
You may be seated. Very quickly, we are still in need of volunteers also for our adopted family for the month of April. So if you would like to give to our immigrant family who is afraid to leave their home, we are providing supplies for them and food. So see Debbie for that. Also, postcard campaigns are going on right now. This is about the Board of Education, I think.
1, 2, and 5.
So this can make a difference as well. So see Debbie for that. I now invite Bruce Reback to light the chalice. We practice being called. Choosing to focus our attention is countercultural. Daily, we're called to worship at the altar of many devices. Surveillance systems we let take lead, headlines set purely on our activation. We are entrapped. Instead, here, we are called to bring our attention to the altar of unpredictable human relatedness. We are called to focus all our attention on a foolhardy and open-hearted commitment to share a future together we cannot cancel or control. I love that. Please join me for saying our unison affirmation on the screen. This flame affirms the light of truth, the warmth of community, and the fire of commitment. Love is the doctrine we share, the quest for truth is our sacrament, and service is our prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge and freedom, to serve human need. Thus do we covenant with one another.
It is our custom to provide donation of non-perishable food and personal care items for pathways of hope of the local food bank. Please check the dates on your items as the children come forward. They will have to collect the donations placed at the end of the rows. And now the children are invited to come forward for the time of all ages.
From you I receive, to you I give. Together we share, and from this we live. From you I receive, to you I give. Together we share, and from this we live.
Hello, hello. Happy Sunday. So, I brought you guys something. A giant heart. Not only because I love you guys, but also because this week is our last week of our theme of paying attention. And so today we're paying attention to our hearts. Now, have you guys ever heard of the phrase, you just need to listen to your heart? Yeah. So when people say that, like, what does that mean? Just listen to your heart.
I think it means, like, do what you want to do.
So it means, like, do what you want to do. What do you think it means, Andrew?
Like, listen to your body.
Listen to your body. Yeah, it definitely has to do with like tapping into something within us. And a way to think about it is that listening to our heart, is it like literally like listening like a doctor, like to hear it go bum bum, bum bum, bum bum? Is that like a special code for something? Like, am I gonna like learn the secrets of life? Maybe it's Morse code. Yeah, I haven't learned it yet. Or is it something like more symbolic? Maybe it's like our inner wisdom when people say we listen to our heart. And what is wisdom? Like, it sounds pretty fancy. How would you describe it? Either one of you.
Wisdom, I was told this the other day, but I forgot. Wisdom is like, knowledge, but like not completely smart of everything, just wise with it.
Yeah, it's definitely a type of knowledge, but yeah, it's not like something you can learn from a book or a class, or you could like ace a test on wisdom. Like, it's more like a deeper knowing of things, like to decide on things, to do the right thing, to make good choices. And our hearts kind of become a symbol for that. And so, like, to listen to our inner wisdom, like, different places, different people from different backgrounds might have different names for that. Maybe they call that listening to God, to their spirit, to their gut, to their intuition, to our hearts, our Jiminy Cricket, our conscience. But I think what's important is not necessarily the name, but what it can do for us and what it means to us, because sometimes the world is noisy and our brains are really busy with lots of thoughts. But if we can quiet those things, and if we have a lot of hard decisions to make, and if we take a deep breath, and we can quiet all that noise around us, and we can tap into listening to our hearts, it can help us tune out all the noise, all the distractions, and help us make the right choices. And if we can practice this week, maybe taking some time to, get away from all those distractions and those screens and all the things that are ready to take away our attention, and focus on listening to our heart and what it has to say, it might be interesting to find out what we experience, because if we're ready to listen to our heart, the heart is always ready to speak. So now we're going to go and get ready for Easter next week. So, yay. Here, you can hold our heart.
Go with wisdom, go with wonder, go to greet a brand new day. Learn to see the light within you as we send you on your way. Go with wisdom, go with wonder, go to greet a brand new day. Learn to see the light within you as we send you on your way.
Today is a special day. We kick off our pledge drive. And our pledge drive slogan this year is envision growth, empower our future. And here to talk more about that is, you may have seen her from last year. She is the perfect spokesperson for this, Rebecca Duell Gallegos.
All right, unfortunately, this is the year that I have to wear my glasses. Finally caught up to me. Good morning. My name is Rebecca Duell Gallegos, and along with Leslie Mahaffey and Kathy Frickert, I am looking forward to escorting you through this year's UUCF Stewardship Drive. For those new to or visiting the church, and those who prefer to block it out the other 11 months of the year, our annual Stewardship or Pledge Drive officially runs from April 1st to April 30th. During this month, we invite you as congregants to make a financial commitment that church leadership can depend on to keep operations running and plan programs and activities that can nurture, sustain, and even expand our congregation and its work in the broader community. During last year's very successful drive, we reaffirmed our love and commitment to UUCF after a few years of uncertainty and change. As we discovered, thanks to our visioning workshop, this congregation isn't floundering as we might once have feared. Our financial foundation is solid. And when you have a solid foundation, when you have stable, fertile soil, you can grow better and stronger than before. That's why this year's Pledge Drive theme is Envision Growth, Empower Our Future. We can and should be grateful for and optimistic about the position UUCF is in today. Church leadership will be working in the coming months to determine how we can responsibly access, manage, and use our reserve and endowment funds, money that can certainly act as a seed for the changes and improvements we would like to see. But that isn't all we need. We have a minister committed to at least 3 more years with us, staff enthusiastic about enriching our worship, music, and children's programs even further, and congregants dedicated to social action, small group ministry, and community outreach efforts. For us to thrive as a church, this day-to-day work must continue, and that takes regular, sustained giving from all of us. For this reason, we are aiming for a pledge goal of $225,000, 7% higher than what we achieved last year. This may sound intimidating, but the good news is we get to work toward this goal together. To facilitate community engagement in this year's drive, the Stewardship Committee has brought back one of my favorite aspects of Pledge Month, the cottage meeting. You've obviously heard a little bit about those. At these small group gatherings, congregants can connect with each other, stewardship representatives, and church leadership to discuss where we are as a congregation and where we're going, learn about budget considerations and the board's upcoming plans, and voice any questions and concerns. You'll also receive your pledge packet with relevant information about giving guidelines and messages from the board and minister. Now, some of you might be wondering, why attend a meeting if you already contribute, know you'll be renewing your pledge, and see everybody here all the time anyway? This is not a bad question, but I will say that last year, when my husband and Ramon and I hosted a cottage meeting, there were people there I hadn't met, people who had been going to the congregation for a while, congregants I knew but hadn't spoken to at length, and old friends I hadn't reconnected with in some time, all bringing different perspectives to the table. And when we were new congregants, the cottage meeting we attended with longer-term members made us feel both more welcome in the church and less intimidated at the idea of committing financially to its future. This year, the Stewardship Committee is incredibly grateful to Danette Giltonen for offering to host these meetings. There will be food, conversation, and community as we work together to grow and empower UUCF. And if that is not convincing, think of a cottage meeting like yoga or going to the gym. You might not want to get out of your jammies on a Saturday to stretch your body, brain, and wallet, but once you do it, you're going to feel happier, more relaxed, and a lot better about your life choices. In this case, you don't even have to give up your Saturday morning. There are multiple days and times available, so if you haven't already, sign up for your first and second choices with Kathy Fricker in the narthex after service, or you can sign up online using the QR code that's on the screen up there, or at uufullerton.org/cottage. We really hope to see you there. That's it for the who, where, what, and when of Pledge Month. Now for the why. When Leslie first asked me if I would once again head up what I consider to be the public relations and propaganda wing of the Stewardship Committee, I initially worried that I wouldn't have anything new to say. I've spoken more than once here about the value UCF brings to my life and my family's. So I looked to this year's theme, particularly the tree symbology, each leaf and the trunk representing one of our UU values. So get ready, I'm about to torture a metaphor. 10 years ago, Ramon and I were still only tentatively putting roots down in Fullerton. Our membership at UUCF has been a significant reason why those roots have expanded. I have watched my children grow up in this community in the shade of your love and support. I have watched their values strengthen and start to solidify, and their beliefs blossom. And although there will come a season, likely much too soon, when they start to drift away from the church, from Fullerton, and even from Ramon and me, I am confident that the seeds this congregation has helped us plant will sustain them long into adulthood. So I told you I was going to torture it. I want this for every family that embraces this faith and its values, for the young children that come weekly to church and the grown ones who attend only during the holidays. My family chooses to pledge to UUCF and to increase our pledge year after year so that when our children someday drift back, this faith community will be here, bigger and more impactful than ever. Thank you in advance for your contributions to this congregation. Let's have a great Pledge Month.
Great message. Thank you so much, Rebecca. I now invite Bruce back up as we go through our joys, our sorrows, and our concerns. We begin by lighting a candle for all our concerns for the larger world, our wish for peace and justice, our hopes for the children who will inherit this planet. May this first candle represent all these wishes and calls to action that are more than we can articulate in this space. No King's Day. I've seen lots and lots of texts and sharing of pictures. I think we're probably going to put some of those on Facebook to show how you showed up yesterday. This was the third No Kings protest, and I'm sure there will be a fourth. So thank you to all of you who shared your pictures and who showed up on the side of love on a very, very important Saturday across the United States and around the world. I want to give a happy birthday to my mama, who is watching in Greensboro, North Carolina. Happy birthday, Mom. Thank you for loving me. and loving all my good and bad points. Happy birthday, Mom. Peter has a joy. His mom, Irene, moved into a new and better facility. So, Peter, we send love and light to your mom. And so grateful for you being here. Another joy from Mary and Dale Botts. Our son Michael received the Classified Non-Teacher Employee of the Year Award at Tustin Ranch Elementary. We were so happy to attend. Congratulations to Michael. There's a lot of joys today, isn't that nice? Love this. Allison Daniels, my husband Gary, auditioned for Masters of Harmony, the International Gold Medal Barbershop Chorus. It's a big honor, and I'm so proud of him. Go Tenors. Yes. Congratulations, Gary. And a joy from Barbara Story. She had a little procedure done on Thursday. I spoke with her family and then have been texting with her, and she has come out with flying colors and can't wait to be back soon. We now light one more candle for all of those joys, those concerns, those sorrows that you may have but remain unexpressed, but are still held close to our hearts. And now please join me in saying our affirmation. We join you in celebrating your joys. May you feel our love and compassion for your sorrows and concerns, for all that is spoken and unspoken. May the caring of our beloved community sustain us all.
For our next hymn, we'll be singing hymn number 220, Bring Out the Festal Bread. You may rise in mind, body, or spirit and join us in singing.
Bring out the festal bread and sing songs of freedom. Shout with the slaves who fled and sing songs of freedom. What modern pharaohs live in arrogance crowned? Who shall be sent to challenge unbound? Bring out the festal bread and sing songs of freedom. Shout with the slaves who fled and sing songs of freedom. Chains still there are to break, their days are not finished. Metal or settle made, they're still not diminished. Bring out the festal bread and sing songs of freedom. Bring out the festal bread and sing songs of freedom. Just let it to the mountains, call us mountains. Bring out the festal bread and sing songs of freedom. Shout with the slaves who fed and sing songs of freedom.
You may be seated.
It's okay. 210.
Let us move it to a period of meditation, reflection, and prayer. Sometimes the world outside us can be so loud, leaving us lost. But the quiet always remains, waiting and willing to be our compassion, gently calling us to shift our attention and reclaim ourselves. A silence can be a warm blanket, a listening friend, a channel for ever flowing of love. Let us open our hearts for a few moments in the precious silence. Christine, that was so beautiful. Thank you. So the people took the dough before it was leavened, their kneading bowl wrapped in the clothes upon the shoulders after the 12:34. You need to travel light. Take what you carry, a book, a poem. You need your kneading bowl, your child strapped to your chest. So the dough isn't ready. So your heart isn't ready. But you may wait until you feel fully ready. You may never take a leap at all. And infinity is calling you forth and into the future wide expanse. We're God like a clock, stride forth with confidence. You won't know where you're going, but you have the word about the pages, the songs of our mothers, the inspiration wrapped in your kneading bowl. Trust that what you carry will sustain you and take the first step out the door.
As we move toward Passover this week on Wednesday at sundown, Jewish communities around the world will gather at tables to tell an ancient story. It's a story of liberation, a story of courage, a story of a people walking out of bondage and then into uncertainty. In the Hebrew Bible, also known as the Old Testament, in the book of Exodus, Moses carries a message to Pharaoh. And most of us know this line, "Let my people go." But the verse doesn't end there. The full line reads, "Let my people go so that they may serve." Not just let my people go, but let my people go for something. In Jewish tradition, freedom is never only freedom from, it is freedom for. Freedom from oppression, yes. Freedom from brutality, yes. Freedom from fear, yes. But ultimately, freedom for purpose, freedom for responsibility, freedom for covenant. Leaving Egypt was dramatic. People becoming a people themselves is deliberate. Now, I want to say something clearly. For those in our congregation who are Jewish, this story is a sacred text and a living tradition. For the rest of us, this story is not ours to claim, but it is one that we can learn from. It has shaped movements for justice and civil rights and human dignity across centuries. So we approach it with respect and we ask, what might it teach us about who we are becoming and how we are living? When the Israelites leave Egypt, they are free, but they're not yet formed. They're no longer enslaved, but they're not yet a covenantal community. Then you probably know the story. The sea parts, they cross, they sing, and then comes the long work. Learning how to share resources, learning how to resolve conflicts, learning how to build something sacred together. Sound familiar? Later in Exodus, we read, "Let them make for me a sanctuary." Let them make it. Not one person, not one wealthy donor, the people. Each bringing whatever they could. The text says the gifts came from those whose hearts were moved. A sanctuary not built by coercion, but by willingness and passion. That is freedom for. And what's remarkable in this Exodus story is how specific the text is. It says the people brought gold, they brought silver, they brought fabric and thread and acacia wood. I've never heard of that, but acacia wood. Some people brought their talents, right? Craftsmanship. Some brought their tools, and some just brought their time. And the text says something really beautiful. It says that people brought so much that Moses eventually had to tell them to stop giving. If we ever reach the point where I must stand up here and say, please, for the love of all that is holy, stop pledging, that will be a really cool day. But the deeper point is this. The sanctuary did not appear because someone had a brilliant idea. It appeared because many people decided to participate. The sacred space was not dropped from a heaven. It was built from shared generosity. And our theme this month, envision growth, empower our future. This isn't maintenance language. There are some really active verbs in this. It's not scarcity language either. It's language with a vision. Because growth is not automatic, and empowerment is not passive. And this is the moment in the sermon where I need to pivot towards something that makes even me slightly uncomfortable. Let's talk about pledging. During the pandemic, when my former church that I was serving in South Central Los Angeles went online, it was really strange and uncomfortable to preach into a camera. It felt kind of televangelistic, that's a word. And there were no faces, no nods, no laughter, no reassuring smiles. You know, there wasn't that energy, give and take, just a glowing red recording light. And my husband, and my dogs. And it felt, I will admit, a little like I had become accidentally a televangelist. All I needed was better hair and a private jet. Well, the hair, I mean, come on. And whenever pledge drive season came around in that format, it really felt weird because money and religion, it can feel transactional. It can feel awkward. It can feel icky. And yeah, I'm going to go there. Like we're one step from saying, operators are standing by. What you pledge, though, goes to the operational costs of running this congregation. Yes, the electricity, the staff salaries, the insurance, the programs, the coffee. Blessed be the coffee. Exactly. It's not glamorous. There is no Red Sea special effects budget, and yet operational costs are not the opposite of spiritual purpose. They are simply the containers that allow spiritual purpose to show up. Just as the sanctuary in the wilderness required fabric and wood and tools and skilled labor, holiness still required infrastructure. Sacred life still required people bringing what they could. So let's name it plainly. This community runs on our shared commitment. And some of that is financial. And in a UU congregation where we do not require belief in a particular creed, dogma, what binds us together is a covenant. And that's actually deeper than a contract. You know, Joy was talking about the heart and listening to the heart. That is what we do with covenants. We listen to each other's hearts and we say, yeah, we're going to be there for each other. Also, covenant is sustained by participation, including our finances. There, the elephant has been acknowledged. You may exhale. And this is something religious communities forget sometimes. We wait for certainty before we commit. We want to know the whole plan. We want guarantees. We want proof that the investment will pay off. But let's get back to the Exodus story because it tells a different truth. Communities are not built on certainty. We know this world is not certain. I don't know about you, but every morning it's like, do I really want to look at my phone? They're built by trusting each other and participating together. No one standing at the edge of the Red Sea had a spreadsheet checking people off. No one had these 5-year projections. They had something more fragile, but also more powerful. They had a willingness to step forward together. And history tells us something again and again. When people step forward together, possibility and hope becomes more. In the Passover story, the sea does not part while the people are still debating whether they are comfortable. They step. And the story tells us the waters respond. Pledging is a step. Not into blind faith, but into shared authorship. You are writing the next chapter of UUCF. Budgets are moral documents here. They reflect what we are willing to sustain. They reveal whether we are living in anxiety or in imagination. And we learned from our consultant that we are in a good place to imagine and envision and empower. So here's my invitation. Y'all know I'm not into guilt trips. and not into fear, and not into televangelism. Why not take this invitation to freedom for, not freedom from? We have a lot of that going on right now. Freedom from. This is freedom for. If the community has nourished you, pledge for that nourishment to continue. If this community has challenged you, which I hope it does, pledge for that growth to deepen. When we talk about growth, we're not just talking about numbers, we're talking about growth in ourselves, because that's where change begins. We can have 100 people here and have no difference made. We can have 55 people here and change hearts and change the world. If you believe in a future where spiritual depth, intellectual freedom, and courageous and stubborn justice live together, pledge for our future, pledge for those kids who are an owl right now, trying to learn how to make it in this complex world. Give in a way that is intentional, in an investment that you know is doing well already. Give in a way that reflects your gratitude. Give in a way that says, I am part of this. I am part of this, because we are not just funding operations. We are sustaining a covenant. We are not just keeping lights on. We are keeping possibility alive. Freedom from fear is good. Freedom for purpose, even better. And here is the truth the Exodus story leaves us with. Remember, it doesn't matter whether you believe this actually happened. That's not the argument. We look inside the stories to see what is it telling us. How can we take these stories, these parables, what do we do with those? How can we ingest them and then move into the world with the tools of the story? An Exodus and the Red Sea story, it doesn't leave us with the Red Sea parting. It leaves us in the wilderness. Remember, Moses didn't even make it to the promised land. The miracle is not just what the waters parted. The miracle is that a people learned how to build something together on the other side. May we be that kind of people, not waiting for the path to be clear, but willing to step forward together and build what love is calling into being. May we not only leave the narrow places, but create something wide enough for others to enter, to rest, and to belong. Amen.
We embrace the possibility of the world filled with peace, acceptance, justice, love, and joy. A basket brought around the sanctuary and their payment options on the screen. We thank you for your commitment and your generosity.
Last year during the pledge drive, I did a magic trick. So, as we go from this place, I want to leave you with a simple image. In this bag, have one bottle. From the outside, a community can look like this. Just a building, just a budget, just numbers on a page. You can even hear the emptiness. But that's not the whole story, because what makes a community is not what it looks like from the outside. It's what people bring to it, their generosity, their time, their courage, their willingness to say, I'm a part of this. And when people begin to bring what they have, something happens and something changes. See? Magic trick. What once seemed empty becomes something sustaining. Not because of one person, but because of all of us. Because covenant does that. What no one person could fill alone, a community fills together. So go from this place and this space knowing that your presence matters, your generosity matters, your participation matters. Freedom from is good, but freedom for, that is what builds a life. That's what fuels love. That's what builds a community and a future. Now let us go and build together. And now, bring up Bruce one more time. We now extinguish this chalice, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts wherever we may go. And so we say together, Amen, Shalom, Salam, Namaste, and blessed be.
For our closing hymn, we'll be singing hymn number 210, Wade in the Water. You may rise in mind, body, or spirit and join us in singing. I will be playing a little intro, and then we will be singing 2 verses. Please come back to the first slide, Wade in the Water, for each time. Here's our little intro.
Wade in the water, wade in the water, children, wade in the water. God's gonna trouble the water. See that band all dressed in white? God's gonna trouble the water. The leader looks like an Israelite. God's gonna trouble the water. Wade in the water, wade in the water, children, wade in the water. God's gonna trouble the water. See that band all dressed in red? God's gonna trouble the water. It looks like the band that Moses led. God's gonna trouble the water, yeah. Wade in the water, wade in the water, children, wade in the water. God's gonna trouble the water. God's gonna trouble the water.
Now please join us for a social hour. Thank you so much.